welcome to the PI show. My name's Harry Nowicki. I'm with my colleague Tony Carbone and special guest Nunzio Tartaglia, and we're here tonight to discuss generally assaults in nightclubs and discos and bars and things like this. But before we...
Harry, welcome back from America. You're hot on the tail of Tiger Woods, I
hear. Tiger Woods has a very significant car accident claim, and some people might know that he injured his neck as a result of a car accident, and it's led to a few consequences after that. But I tried to
sign him up.
I offered our services to Tiger to represent him, but he's got other representation at this stage. But the offer's still open. The offer's still open, Tiger. Now we've got a new set, so we're bigger and better than
it's nice, isn't it?
Than last time, and tonight we've got, as I say, a special guest. Nunzio has been involved in a number of court cases involving assaults, nightclubs, and he personally investigates a lot of nightclubs and bars around Melbourne.
He's got inside information.
It's important to do your research, Harry.
Yeah, it is. Before we go to that, what's in the news, Tony?
Yeah, what's been in the news lately, Harry, is we've had this story about one of the twin daughters or sisters that was jabbed with the flu injection, and she died. And so the Chief Medical Officer, Professor Bishop, has been conducting investigations and all sorts of things, especially in Western Australia and Queensland, where there's been a lot of cases where there's been febrile convulsions, high fevers and things like that. And they're trying to look into whether there was a link between the injection that this child got and her death. Now, what they've done is they've recommended that no one under the age of 5 has a flu injection now. What's different from the past is that traditionally what they did was they gave the flu injection with various strains, but this particular injection had also a strain of the swine flu. So, you know...
But the finding is open in terms of did the flu injection cause the death? Because there were two sisters, it's very young to give someone a flu injection. But... there's still an open finding at this stage. The coroner hasn't reached a conclusion.
Investigating. Yeah, they haven't reached finality. So it's pretty tragic and
it's a sad case where a 2-year-old dies suddenly.
Yeah, I don't think I'd give a 2-year-old an injection, Harry. But
it doesn't seem prudent to me. But it's somehow it did happen, and
But I don't think I've heard of any other cases. I mean, this seems to be a first. So who knows if there's a link between the extra strain of the swine flu and the traditional...
And if there's a cause of action, it's a product liability claim.
Well, it'd be you'd imagine nervous
shock from the parents.
Psychiatric injuries to the parents and...
as damage, but you'd have to prove, and I think it's a product liability case where it's a defective product not suitable for its purpose.
So you'd probably sue them under the Trade Practices Act and the Goods Act, Nunzio, perhaps, who knows?
Most of the Trade Practices Act.
Trade Practices Act, yeah.
And negligence,
Well, it's a defective product.
Yep.
I think if you can prove that situation.
Anyway, we might follow up with this story in the future, but it's very, very sad and tragic. The young family and they've lost one of their twins.
Yeah. Now tonight we've got a few cases where we're discussing personal injuries arising from people attending clubs, bars, nightclubs, which is not uncommon for people of a certain age. And the first case we've got is something in Queensland, in Fortitude Valley, which is a well-known street in Brisbane, and it's called Tony's Disco.
Got nothing to do with me, eh?
Nothing to do with Tony, apparently.
Not yet.
So he says, but
not yet.
It was Tony's Disco. And perhaps, Nunzio, you can just tell us about the facts. I think the person who sued was the security guard.
It was it was a patron. He was attending a nightclub with his friends, and they were refused entry for supposedly being under the influence and of maybe drugs and also alcohol. And on the facts of it, security guard without any really force just smashed one of smashed the plaintiff. He fell to the ground, and another security guard jumped in and dropped a few more punches. So it was
very unprovoked.
Unwarranted.
Unwarranted.
Is what the court said anyway.
So the person who was assaulted, he sued one of the security guards.
One of the security guards, and also a second security guard who was also the owner of the nightclub.
So the club was sued in effect.
The owner of the club.
And ultimately, the club,
was found liable.
So yeah.
Look, he sustained nasty injuries this fella, didn't he? He's brain damage, I think.
Oh, mild brain damage.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. He's
34-year-old.
Yeah, he's got attention, memory, learning impairments, reduction of psychomotor speed. I mean, it's pretty serious injuries.
And he received substantial damages for his future loss of income because
What,
of that.
he bolted him for the fun of it, by the sounds of things.
One of the security guards.
It was unwarranted.
But I mean, I think it was hard to get evidence in the case because everyone turned up drunk. Yeah. So they didn't have much memory of what happened.
And that was proven by the fact that there was an issue where the actual owner of the club was present on the night, and there's conflicting evidence about that. So.
Well, you wouldn't be able to get much out of the plaintiff either, because I mean he's pretty badly damaged, isn't he?
Well,
brain damage and.
But it was brain damage plus all the other people were drunk, so the evidence was a bit sketchy about what actually happened.
That probably explains why the case took 13 years.
Well, the incident was in 1989, and the decision was in 2002. So it was a long time from the date of incident to.
Unusually long.
Well, do you think that the time lapse helped the plaintiff in this case? Because generally we don't like cases hanging around for 13 years. I mean, it's outrageous, really. But
well, we don't know the background or what happened, but I mean, the judge comments that people's memories were dim. So after 13 years, as you'd expect, so it was hard to reconstruct the facts. So that's again, I think, works against the plaintiff.
Yeah, the law would have evolved too in that period of time in terms of security and nightclubs and things like that. But they couldn't apply current law. But still, you'd think that current standards would somehow kick in terms of the assessment of this case. Don't you think?
In terms of negligence or damage?
Negligence, and also in 13 years that plaintiffs
would have changed.
Income crystallises, doesn't it?
Yeah. So we think he was awarded $75,000 for pain and suffering, loss of enjoyment of life. Tony, your
very light
view
I think
is
it's outrageously low. I would have thought $250 perhaps.
Considering the injuries.
Yeah, he's only young.
And just over $300,000 for future economic loss. So economic loss, but. Look, that's all we've got time for. We're going to a break, and we'll be back after the break.